This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in Denver, Colorado. I'm here with Mercy Exchange, brand new for 2020. They've been helping you light the way for your job search. I'm here with Jim Becker. Let's start off a little bit about yourself. This is a pretty great organization to begin in 2020. Good year for that. But you yourself, you've been involved in the industry as far as consulting for the past 2 decades. You had your formal education here at a couple colleges in the Denver area. Tell me a little bit how this got started for you.
Well, for me, it kind of goes back to really establish my roots. Back in 2006, when I really kind of got started in the industry, I actually stumbled upon it by accident. I was a journalist by trade, and I loved to write, loved to engage with people, and I just happened to come across a couple of different agencies that really got into, and I took to it like a fish out of water. Ended up leading a team, and from there started refining and coming up with kind of my own processes on how to effectively help people manage career transitions. I left that particular organization and continue to modify and hone this particular process that I had, and this is what Mercy Exchange has been built upon.
That is interesting. Quite honestly, this has been a year of change, not only for individuals, but for corporate America. As individuals out there, they navigate through their professional life, the transitions. It can be overwhelming. It can be kind of scary. Why do you think services like this are much more in need today, even than they were maybe 10 years ago?
Number one, I think we care. We care deeply about our staff. If a client comes into our services and they engage one of our bundle services, we actually go through probably one of the most comprehensive assessment processes. It's not just hey, give me your resume and we're going to kick something out because I know what is the right words. We actually want to know who we're dealing with, what is their background, what are their characteristics and their personality. So we really get to know our clients. And in some cases, I've had some clients say, we probably know them better than their spouse.
That's amazing. The services you provide, you're really a beacon of light. A lighthouse is there to navigate a person, keep you from the pitfalls, keep you from danger. Not only keeping you on a path, but really keeping a person on their path. Why is the customized approach so important to you?
Well, it's important to me is because, one, you can't just go approaching today's market with a cookie cutter style of one size fits all. We really have to have it personalized, and we've identified about 160 different steps to take that involve like personal branding, building relationships, things that you would think, oh, well, just your industry expertise. These are things that people don't know how to really communicate or get out into the market that showcases why they're the right person. So we've kind of put together what we call the ME action plan, and it really gives them a very step-by-step process of things that they can look at over a span of 5 weeks to really give them a direction where to go. And then when those weeks are over, they go back and they can kind of revisit, because nobody ever gets them all done in one shot.
I've heard it said before that to help you, I really need to know you.
Yep.
What you do is you're basically taking technology and you're getting an in-depth look at each one of your clients. Share with me how those assessment works. You're talking about 3 different assessments. Break that down a little bit for me.
So we first have our clients go through a personal assessment. This is what is their opinion of what are their strengths, what do they think their transferable skills are. Ultimately, we want to learn their backgrounds. What do they perceive to be their strongest accomplishments through the course of their career? Regardless of the timeline of where it's at, it's a matter of what are their perceptions. And so we want to really hear from them and hear their voice in that process. The second step is a true colors assessment. This really it's a personality characteristics profile. It is built on Myers-Briggs, but it goes a little bit beyond that. In that it really helps identify the characteristics. In other words, how well do you work with a team? Are you more of a lone gun? Are you a team player? Are you, and it goes in and it basically breaks it down into 4 different colors to identify a power combo, if you will, of either orange, green, blue, or gold. And it basically, there's some fairly standard characteristics that you can identify through that process. The Myers-Briggs personality is our last assessment that we go through, and that's pretty common for the industry. But we don't use it as a screening tool. Rather, it is we get to know you tool, and we really get to know what are your personalities, what are your strengths, emotionally, cognitively, how well are you thinking, where are you at in that particular scale. And then what we do is then when we craft that personalized action plan is we actually take all three results and then start to come up with an action plan for the individual.
When the opportunity arose for me to be able to work with Mercy Exchange, I was extremely intrigued because I know I'm not alone in those that abruptly lost their job this year due to the circumstances and uncontrollable reasons. While I was comfortable in my last career and didn't see a change coming anytime soon, I was extremely overwhelmed with starting from scratch with the processes such as searching for a job, applying for jobs, and then interviewing for jobs. And it was apparent that Mercy Exchange was going to be able to offer me a service that would make my career transition much more smooth and seamless. While working with Mercy Exchange, I was able to do a number of comprehensive tests and assessments, such as personality tests, diving into my strengths and weaknesses, doing a career overview, and then some. The deep dive assessment made it very obvious that the team at Mercy Exchange really cared about who I was and cared about understanding who I was, how I worked, and being able to point me in the correct direction for my career journey. And the personality tests were extremely insightful. I was able to learn a lot about myself. They also went further than that. There were open-ended questions that allowed me to better understand myself, my work style, my interests, etc.
I mean, like you say, not only do you get to know your clients, but honestly, they get to know themselves. I mean, this is an investment of their time to learn more about themselves, their strengths, their weaknesses, skills. Is that something that you find people are pretty amazed at what is put together?
I've had clients just basically say it's kind of like when Shrek said, we're peeling back the layers of the onion. Is that's literally what it is. We're just peeling back and peeling back and peeling back, and we're learning a lot more. They learn a lot more about themselves, and actually, as they go through our process, they'll have several different reports that get generated that if they take the time to read it and then apply it, they'll actually be better interview candidates because they'll have more confidence in who they are and what they represent. They'll know whether or not they're the right fit for a team. And they'll have an idea of how to interact, and especially with our Myers-Briggs assessments, is we actually have a track on how you could actually communicate to each different type of personality. And that's a pretty comprehensive report to go through. But it does aid in helping individuals really come to terms with who they are, what can they offer, and ultimately how can they start modifying their communication when they're communicating with someone of a different personality type and be successful.
I mean, not only is it powerful for these individuals to know this about themselves, but even more powerful is the fact to be able to communicate that across the desk to an employer and basically really convey the idea that you need me and this is why.
That's why you need me is our motto. We tell people all the time, it's like, employers, they need us. We work for outplacement services. Individuals, they need us. It's you need me is the primary message you're wanting to convey to employer. But today's market, you have to do more than just say, I have all the right skill sets. You have to be able to convey, I'm the right fit. I know how to play with your team. I know how to actually be innovative and creative if you want me to be. But ultimately, it's a matter of you need me to be able to fit a role and to solve a particular problem. And that's why they get hired.
In fact, many of the questions served as great interview prep that I would inevitably have. Prior to interviews, I was able to look back and get measurable evidence and support from my career experiences. Following the deep dive, the team at Mercy Exchange was able to put together an extensive ME action plan. This was an action plan that was broken down and fit my personal goals as well as just how I worked. The entire broken down plan made it a lot more approachable and less overwhelming of starting this entire journey.
I mean, for individuals, you have quite a few products and services you offer. Let's talk about a few of them here. First off, out the bat, social media. And when we live in a different time now, do all the social medias really play a part in conveying you to the public?
They absolutely do. LinkedIn, before COVID hit, it was over almost like 90% of recruiters were using LinkedIn as their primary method of sourcing. Employers were about 60%. Since COVID, it is almost like 98, 100%. Because one, you have to figure it out. But also, the reports indicate, and they show using social media is that employers are able to basically, through social media, identify whether someone's a right fit. So they look on professionally, what are they doing on LinkedIn? Socially, what are they doing on Facebook or Twitter? How do they stand on different political agendas? Is this person a firecracker? Are you looking for that on your team? Or are you looking for someone who is a little bit more sedated? There's so much more information out there on social media today that employers can have free access to that information, and we've given it to them to be able to go ahead and include that as part of their selection criteria.
I know as an employer, my go-to is LinkedIn. It tells me quite a bit. Yet at the same time, I see people who put together profiles, maybe one night because they knew they had to, maybe they add to it. Share with me how a LinkedIn tune-up is something that benefits them.
It starts off with their title. Well, actually, it really starts with their picture. One of our core services is offering headshots, and having the right profile picture really says a lot. And we actually have a whole webinar series that we do just on social media for imagery. Then there's the your title line and your profile line, and then your bio. Those are the things. If you were to look at like a newspaper, that would be basically what's above the fold. And so that is the information that somebody's looking at. They're going to scan it quickly, and they're going to decide whether or not they're going to go deeper into your profile just off of those. So if those things are not hitting the right things of what a recruiter or employer is looking for, then you're never even going to show up on their search.
I mean, whether a person out there needs an executive biography, if they need a cover letter, a resume, I mean, you really have an a la carte approach where they're able to pick exactly what they need, or maybe even bundle up some together and save a little bit that way.
Absolutely. We're kind of an A to Z. We take everything from, hey, I have nothing, to, hey, I need everything. And we take that whole comprehensive approach of really helping people customize a package that they need. We have some bundled packages that we think are pretty powerful in amongst themselves, and they're affordable, especially in today's market with the COVID pricing going on. Is they are very affordable, and they, one of our models is we want to offer more in services than they're actually paying in value. So we actually want to be able to give up more.
I mean, there's always been programs out there, companies that help you with the resume. What you provide is more than resume help. This is taking your resume to the next level. Basically, this is an action plan. Like you said, at the end of the day, tell me about the Me Action Plan a little bit more and what I walk away with.
Well, what you walk away with in the Me Action Plan is a very direct, comprehensive approach of what you need to focus in on week by week. Basically, if you were to go from 1 to 100, and let's say you're in a race car and you're trying to go as fast as possible, if you were to go the workers' comp program, they say basically you need to do 5 things in the course of a week to be able to satisfy their program. Most of the people that are in our programs, they want to get a job. They need to do some activity. We recommend 15 to 20 different specific items, and we give them about 30 to choose from of the various different steps that they can actually go through. So we don't necessarily dictate, here's all the things that you have to do, but we give them options within a week. But they layer on top of each other. So the stuff that you're doing in week 1 gets built upon on week 2 and gets built upon on week 3. And so by the time you're in week 4 or 5, you actually have established yourself very clearly as a top candidate as far as for potential employers, because you've now taken the necessary steps to have that foundation.
That is interesting. I mean, you have individuals out there that are navigating through their career path, for themselves. Yet with you, they're not by themselves. For somebody who wants an actual career consultant, is that something they can find with your organization as well?
Absolutely. Actually, that's the piece that we enjoy. We're a people-based company, and so with our services, unlike some of the top resume mills, I guess we would call them, is where you have just only email or text interactivity with us. You can actually pick up a phone and talk to someone. And so we really get excited about that. We really want to know our customers. If somebody's having an issue or they've hit a roadblock, nothing's more frustrating than going, okay, I did this and now it doesn't work and I don't know where to go.
That is interesting. As we said before, you're helping them light the way. basically find what it is that is going to be a great fit for them. They not only benefit, but the employer benefits as well, because they're not looking for just anyone. They're looking for the right fit as well. No two people are the same. We're talking about being able to help executives, to military veterans, to first responders. You've got programs pretty much set up across the board to help the specifics.
Yeah, we take everybody from, if they've had from high school all the way to senior level executives. Like we've had executives from top Fortune 100 companies come through our pipeline. And so it's one of those things where, everybody's an individual and they have different needs and they have different wants and they have different goals. And so we really do cater our services to what the individual's goals are. And then we come up with the road plan and then we figure out what does that look like when it comes to compensation. So we figure it out for everyone. So it's a win-win situation across the board.
That is excellent. If we have somebody out there that wants to get involved, this all starts with a 15-minute free career consultation, if you will. Tell me what they're going to learn a little bit in that first 15 minutes.
They're going to get asked some pretty hard questions. Questions like, where are you wanting to go? How fast are you wanting to get there? What is it that you're looking at doing? What have you been doing? There are some people that feel like, hey, listen, I really don't need any help. And usually I can go through and I'll just pull up their LinkedIn profile and we'll just look at a couple of different things that they just have just on there. And I'll just ask questions. And usually after those questions, it becomes pretty obvious of, there's a reason why you're calling us. You need help. I don't need to convince you that you need help. Let's talk about a plan or an action plan that's going to work out for you.
They were able to offer me an extremely personal and custom approach, and it was beneficial to me in my career transition. While it was beneficial in my given chapter, I can definitely see it being beneficial in others, such as maybe a college student that is just starting on their career journey.
Interesting. I mean, obviously, we focus a lot about the individual. That is what your expertise is. What about corporate America? What about recruiters out there? Are you able to help them as well on that side of it?
Yeah, actually, we're an outplacement agency. And so as companies are, I tell business owners all the time, I said, we can help you grow or we can help you shrink. It's they have to do what they need to do to maintain solvency. It's an act of compassion, and it's kind of like a final act of compassion for employers to be able to say, we have offered you this outplacement service. When they go through Mercy Exchange, what they're getting is they actually get a lot of help when it comes for prevention for future litigation or class action lawsuits, because they're able to basically show a court. I offered them the opportunity to get headshots, LinkedIn profiles, bios, resumes, the whole litany of all of our services, all as part of their severance package. And so when they go to court, it's really hard for a class action lawsuit to kind of move forward when it comes to those services that are being offered. Now, we also work with the employers because there's also a process in downsizing, as you want to make sure that you don't have any individuals or any classes of individuals that might be potentially targeted or being perceived as potentially targeted. So we really want to provide that career expertise to business employers of just what are the right steps on how you go about making those decisions and how are you communicating those decisions to everyone. And then also just for the legacy employees who remain behind is giving them that sense of comfort of, hey, if we come upon hard times, we know that there's someone out there that's helping take care of us.
That's interesting. Jim, let me ask you this. As you read the testimonials out there of people that you've been able to help, I mean, people that you've basically put them in their dream job, something they've looked at their whole life, and now they've got it. As a person, a business owner, a Christian, does this continue to be rewarding for you that you're able to put them on that path?
Oh, yeah. Every positive testimonial that we get, I'm doing a happy dance. Like I literally spin around in my chair and I'm like, this is why we do what we do. This is how we get excited about things. This is how, we build this family, if you will, amongst ourselves as well as within our clients, and certainly helping them to not only just feel important in themselves, but really help them to move forward in their dreams.
That is interesting. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their contact information. First of all, check out their website. On the website, you're going to learn some of these services and products that they provide for individuals out there. I mean, it's real a la carte, so they can pretty much take you where you are, what you need exactly. be it a headshot, resume, an executive bio, you name it, LinkedIn profile that needs tweaked. These are all going to basically point you in the right direction to make sure that you're a great fit for that next opportunity that awaits you. This is a company that began right now in 2020. That is Mercy Exchange, helping you light the way for your job search because they care about your success. This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.